Kyle Busch has won almost everything in NASCAR, but he still hasn't won the Daytona 500. How can a two-time champion keep coming so close and still leave without the trophy? He started this one from the best possible position. Busch won the pole for the Great American Race, putting his Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet at the very front of the field when the green flag dropped. Clean air, control, clear sight lines into turn one. For a driver who has conquered almost every type of track in NASCAR, it felt symbolic. If he was ever going to tame Daytona, doing it from the front seemed like the perfect script. From the opening laps, Busch looked comfortable. Daytona is not a place where you can bully your way to victory. It demands patience and awareness. The draft forms quickly, and the pack moves like a single living organism at nearly 200 miles per hour. Busch managed the lanes with calm precision. He led laps. He protected his position. He never looked rattled. The car had speed, and more importantly, it had stability in traffic. As the race unfolded, the familiar Daytona chaos loomed in the background. Small mistakes become massive accidents in a heartbeat. A mistimed push can trigger a chain reaction that ends a dozen days at once. Busch avoided the early trouble. He stayed present at the front, drifting back only when strategy demanded it, then returning when the field reshuffled. It was the kind of performance that keeps hope alive deep into the afternoon. Late in the race, the tension rose exactly the way it always does at Daytona. The pack tightened. Every restart felt like the final one. Manufacturer alliances began to show their importance. In modern superspeedway racing, cars from the same brand often find each other and form disciplined lines to generate momentum. Toyota drivers worked together with visible coordination. Chevrolet and Ford groups did the same when they could. The final laps at Daytona are rarely about one driver alone. They are about which line builds the strongest surge at the perfect moment. When the decisive run began, Busch was still very much in the fight. He had led earlier. He had shown he could control clean air. For a brief stretch, it looked like the pieces might finally align. But the Daytona 500 does not reward effort. It rewards timing. Tyler Reddick found the right push at the right second. With momentum building behind him, Reddick surged forward on the final lap and took the lead when it mattered most. He crossed the finish line first, capturing the Harley J. Earl Trophy and delivering a historic victory for 2311 Racing. Behind him, the finish was a blur of inches and milliseconds. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. secured second. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Brad Keselowski rounded out the top five. Kyle Busch, despite starting on the pole and leading laps, was officially scored 15th when the checkered flag fell. That number, stark and unfeeling, told only part of the story. Daytona has a way of compressing the field so tightly at the end that a driver can be in contention one moment and shuffle deep into the pack the next. For Busch, the result added another layer to a narrative that refuses to fade. He has 63 Cup Series victories. He has 2 championships. He has built a Hall of Fame resume defined by versatility and intensity. Yet the Daytona 500 remains absent from his list of achievements. Each February, the question resurfaces with renewed urgency. Will he ever win it? The frustration is not about talent. Busch has proven his ability across decades. It is not about opportunity. He has put himself in position at Daytona more than once. The frustration lies in the unpredictable nature of this particular race. Daytona is a place where even the best drivers surrender part of their fate to the draft. Air moves differently here. One lane gains energy while another stalls. A push that feels perfectly timed can become mistimed in a blink. This year, Busch's performance showed that he still possesses the instincts required to contend. Winning the pole demonstrated raw speed. Leading laps confirmed competitive strength. Surviving the chaos highlighted experience. The ingredients were present. The outcome simply did not cooperate. There is also context. In his journey, Busch missed the 2015 Daytona 500 after suffering a broken leg in a crash during the Xfinity Series race the day before. That injury sidelined him from the sport's biggest event and forced a long recovery. Counting the years, 2026 marked his 21st Daytona 500 attempt. Each one has added another chapter to the pursuit. The move to Richard Childress Racing in 2023 was supposed to reignite certain ambitions. Now in his fourth season with the organization, the partnership has delivered competitiveness and renewed energy, but the Daytona 500 has continued to resist. The longer it goes unwon, the more it transforms from a simple goal into a defining storyline. Fans understand this dynamic. They know that the Daytona 500 can humble anyone. Dale Earnhardt Sr. needed 20 attempts before finally winning the race. Tony Stewart, despite 49 career victories, never captured it at all. The event creates legends, but it also denies them. That tension is part of its mystique. For Busch, the 2026 race felt like another reminder that Daytona answers to no résumé. It does not care about past championships. It does not bend to statistics. It only rewards the driver whose momentum peaks at the exact right moment. This time, that driver was Tyler Reddick. As the celebrations unfolded in victory lane, Busch was left to process another near miss in a career full of triumphs everywhere else. He has always raced with intensity, with a visible hunger that defines his competitive personality. Daytona, however, has required him to accept something uncomfortable. Sometimes you do everything right and still walk away empty-handed. Yet the story is not finished. The Daytona 500 resets every year. The field returns to the same high banks with new cars, new alliances, and renewed belief. Busch will be back. He will prepare with the same focus. He will strap into the car knowing that one perfect restart could finally tip the balance. Because at Daytona, history can change in a single lap. Kyle Busch does not need the Daytona 500 to validate his greatness. His career already speaks loudly. But until he holds the Harley J. Earl Trophy, the narrative will continue to circle back to this race. Each February will feel like another chance to complete the sentence. In 2026, he showed he still belongs at the front. He showed he can control the early stages and survive the middle. What he did not receive was the final surge of air that transforms contention into victory. The question remains open, and that is exactly why fans will keep watching. They will watch because they understand how rare this window is. Opportunities at Daytona are never guaranteed. You can unload with speed and still get caught in someone else's mistake. You can dominate for 180 laps and lose the race in the final 800 feet. That unpredictability is cruel, but it is also what makes the pursuit so compelling. Busch knows it better than anyone. He has felt the rush of leading and the sting of being shuffled back in the draft. He has stood within sight of victory lane and walked away without the celebration. That tension is what keeps bringing him back. It is not about proving critics wrong. It is about finishing a mission that has followed him for more than 2 decades. One clean push, one committed lane, one restart where the air finally moves in his favor. Until that moment comes, the chase continues, and the belief does too.